Welcome to Rewriting Real Estate, Millionaire Moves and Modern Tactics with your host, Kimberly Falker, a coach, mentor and strategist for agents who are ready to scale smarter. On this show, you'll learn from high-performing agents who are building their empires with innovation, intention and no apologies. Whether you're an experienced agent stuck at a plateau or a rising star ready to fast-track your success, this podcast gives you the real-world tactics, mindset shifts, and lessons learned from those rewriting the rules.
Hey, Sam. I'm so excited to have you on here.
Hey there.
So let's just jump in. I like to find out who Realtor is or was before they became a Realtor, because rarely do you find people it's their first and only career. Sometimes nowadays you find a little bit of difference, but rarely. So it's fun to hear the person behind the industry.
Girl. All right. So let's start back in the day. So I started out as a high school history teacher. And I love it. Just teaching in general has been like my vibe. So I was a high school history teacher and coach of sports.
Right.
I was head track. I did volleyball, soccer, strength and conditioning, like all the sports, pretty much did it. And I was a teacher for 12 years, maybe 7 years. Then I moved over to San Diego. And when I was living in San Diego, I was an event coordinator. So I was planning corporate events on the beach. Coolest gig ever for an amazing company called Picnic People. So cool.
Fun.
Yeah. And I was actually really great at that because I'm a little ADD. And from being a track coach, I was hosting track meets, which is like 10 different events, 12 events going on simultaneously. So it was really good for me for that. Then I moved back over to Texas, went back into teaching. No, wait, pause. That's when I became a realtor. And then after 2 years of being a realtor, I went back into education and I was a teacher again. So I was a high school teacher and coach and mom and a realtor. Wow. I did the dual career of teaching and realtoring. Realtoring, it's a verb. I did that as a dual career for 7 years, which I think really lends itself to what I do now, which is mentoring newly licensed agents who are in a current job and trying to get straight into realtor or just having the dual career itself. So
now, why did you do dual? Because you love teaching so much, or you okay?
Yeah, I loved them both. Again, teaching really has been my vibe ever since I was probably in high school myself, just helping and teaching, coaching other people to do whatever it is they struggled with. And so for me, I love history. I love teaching. I love the students. And I really also thoroughly enjoyed real estate. So I was like, I don't need to quit. I'll just do it. I'll do both of them. And I can do it. Like being a teacher is very flexible-ish, if you will. You got your holidays, you got your breaks there, you've got your summer breaks. So I was like, I can do 1 or 2 houses, and kind of pick and choose when I want to do it. I can refer to other agents if needed. And so that's what I did for a bit and for 7 years.
Then that's a long time actually to have 2 careers going at the same time.
It really was. And so for me, it was that 7th year, I was done. I was burnt. I went to my husband. I was like, man, I can't choose I got to quit one of them. I don't care which one, just let's roll the dice and pick one. And probably about 2 weeks after that conversation, my work wife, my work bestie, Kim Dean, who I've been with I'm going on year 16 with her in real estate. Yeah. She actually came to me and was like, hey, we're rebranding and we need a trainer.
Oh, wow.
And a dedicated trainer to help with learning the systems because we're wanting to grow. And then when we get newer licensed agents to help train them. So I was like, she didn't know it, but I had just 2 weeks earlier had a conversation with my husband about picking one. I was like, here's this door. Let's go ahead and walk through it. And at that point, I quit teaching at the end of the year. I didn't just jump. So at the end of the year, I quit teaching and went full on real estate. And so I think that's been 7 years now.
Wow.
7 years of being straight real estate.
So how's the role of trainer been? Is that kind of, are you doing 50-50 training and production, or how's your world been? evolving.
I'd say that like this, so I'm still in production, and I'd say 2025 was the first year that my mentee income matched my personal income of production.
Okay.
And kind of
Okay.
like the number, of course, was more on the mentee side, but the amount was about the same, which is really cool. And I like it a lot. So again, going all the way back to when I said I'm an ADD girl. So juggling a lot of plates, spinning,
Hmm.
is something that really I thrive in. So whether it's one or two deals of my own or my one or two deals and five of my mentee deals at the same time, it's the same kind of stuff, and just troubleshooting and helping the mentees figure out, the newer agents figuring out the processes and having conversations with them of like, because no two deals are the same. So it's like, okay, here's the situation, here's how my brain's thinking about it, let's look at the pieces, and now you take the action.
I love that. So
So
are all the agents that you're mentoring right there in Dallas, or are they anywhere, everywhere?
So majority of them are in Dallas, but
Okay.
Dallas Fort Worth is 3 states.
Good point.
It's so cute. But the majority of them are in the DFW area. In 2025, I did pick up some in Austin, and I have, I think, two or three in the Houston area, and I've got one in San Antonio. So still in Texas. We do, for our network, we do have other states that we're connected with. And I'm not opposed to mentoring anyone in other states as a newer licensed agent. However, I highly suggest that they partner with a local. So that way
Yeah.
I'm teaching the real touring stuff, but the actual contracts and that kind of stuff, they would need somebody from that state, because as every state is different. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the cadence of mentoring your agents? Who let's say they come on board, they're a new agent, they get plugged into a group call, or do one-on-one, or do you have like a calendar of, okay, if they're 0 to 3 months or zero, like how'd you guys build it out?
First of all, I'd like to introduce my sweet cat, friendly visitor, Shinobi. He likes to always be part of the calls, be
That's just
in the mix.
fine.
But to answer your question, when the newer licensed agents join, then I do a pod kind of coaching in a group of all of the realtoring stuff. I have a buyer now what? How to do open houses, social media, all of those things. That training is in a pod. And then I also have weekly one-on-one coaching calls with them.
Okay.
Because the way I see it, there's no wrong way to do real estate.
Right.
And you really should be infusing real estate into your life. And that's really the
Hmm.
cool part about our business, unlike other businesses. Like other businesses, it's a separate thing. Like I'm going into the office to go work whatever job it is, like IT or something. But in ours, it's something that we are constantly working, building relationships on, and again, infusing it into the life that we already have. So
That's a
that's where
good
the
point.
one-on-one
Yeah.
coaching comes. And everyone has different styles, different things they want to be focusing on. So that's where the one-on-one coaching is, I think, really an integral part of our program.
How many are you mentoring now at this point?
Right now, I have a little over 40.
Wow.
I know, but they're all in different stages. So not all 40 are in the Monday training calls. They've already done that. So for us, we have them doing the training, and they need to be with us for 2 buyers and 2 sellers, or 2 buyers and 1 seller, depending on how they're moving and confidence level in their transactions. So they're all in different stages. I'd say right now I'm pretty active with about 18, 20 of them.
Okay.
And then the others, when they're just like needing that one more seller or something. So they'll check
Gotcha.
in when needed, or we do our coaching calls maybe once a month. I run as fast as they want to run. So if they need to pull back a little bit and do the coaching every other week or once a month, that's cool with me.
That's awesome. So effectively, when they get the 2 buyers, 2 sellers, or combination, then they graduate from the mentoring program.
Yes, graduating
Okay.
is a nice way to say it. I say I kick them out of the nest. But we have systems in place for them because every baby bird, when they come out of the nest, right? They're like fluttering and trying to figure out where they're going. So we have systems in place where they have Kim, our kind of big team lead, who works more with the veteran agents. Then they've got her for accountability. They still have access to me. And we have also now a program following the 12-week year where it's accountability within the network itself. So people are joining in, and that helps a lot as well. And then we
So
have
are you naturally really good at systems? Or did you have to learn? Because I feel like the ADD brain of most realtors like myself, systems are my biggest challenge because I'm just jumping.
Yeah, I really like systems. They do come naturally to me. It helps, as for my AD brain, it helps me keep everything organized and in line, because if I didn't have systems, I would have all of these things and possibilities of things falling through the cracks. So having a CRM, having my calendar, those things really are an integral part of my business and helping me keep everything in line.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So the process or mentorship process is until they graduate, do they pay you, or how do you guys make that work as far as a system? And I'm assuming that you might get a piece of their production, but if they're not doing anything in the beginning, then it's a lot of time and no reward from other than just feeling good about helping others.
As a former educator, that latter thing that you said is really huge for me.
Okay.
Like, I get emotional when I talk about my babies. Like, they're my kids, they're my everything. And so helping them is filling my cup as well. And I know this is not the norm, but as a former educator, that is really success to me, is seeing growth. And so payment for it up front is not something that I push. So the coaching, all of that, I know it's going to come. I know. And so for us, I'm getting a split on the production of what they do for those 2 buyers, those 2 sellers. And so all this training, all the coaching, I know it's backwards, but that's not a fee.
And I could see why that would help. And also I would imagine then it would also help with retention because you feel like a family at that point. And I think that your background in education probably allows you to handle a lot more agents, like handling 40 agents of mentoring and coaching them at different phases. Like you're going back to your years of teaching where you had different classes and not small classes, I'm assuming. So It's interesting because it totally translates to what you're doing. And I could see how you'd be really good at it because you're just like, this is a classroom and hey kids.
1000%. So I also go back to when I started. My first mentor was Kim 16 years ago, and she just poured into me. And as a newly licensed agent, I don't have the funds to also be paying this coach. But she knew production was going to come. And so that's also that is how I've set this up. I know your production is going to come. And again, I'm running as fast and as hard as you want to. And they want the production. So let's go. And a lot of these other coaching programs that are out there, they're great, but they're also charging the agents up front. And I totally get that. I really do. But it also adds extra level of stress onto the agents, which I think also keeps them in this other part-time world. If the main goal is to break away and be full on real estate. So I'm pulling back on my own experiences of when I started. I'm definitely pulling back from when I was a teacher in classrooms and ultimately helping people.
I love that. So when you have the weekly call and they're at different phases, but you just have subject matter that you're teaching on. So let's say agent number 30 is not really interested in open house information because I already learned it a few months ago. So it's like a voluntary call that they can come in, or is it required?
So my training of realtoring activities are the first probably 8 weeks that they start in the business. Then So Agent 30, who's been with me for a bit, isn't going to be in those classes. We have our weekly coaching calls or monthly, whatever they're at. And so I have a running document of our whole conversations. Like I had one mentee, she was with me for 3 years, just lives. And she did when she could, and then she'd come back. And so I have a running document of all of our conversations and like leads, who she's talking to, what we've been working on, what her goals are. And so now this is where it becomes really personalized. So I don't have a set topic that I'm talking about on every single coaching call. Now, sometimes, yeah, I will. Like upcoming right now, we've got Super Bowl that we have coming up. So I am going to be talking to all of my mentees about, hey, don't forget to do the Super Bowl squares, or it's a great idea, let's do this, or for Christmas time, let's look at maybe doing the 12 days of giving or Santa letters. Or so I do have some kind of generic topic that I will hit on all of them, but when it comes to building the business, it's all personalized on what they're doing, where they're at.
I love
because they're all going to be at different stages.
And then you still also have to pull out of the teaching genre and become the realtor again.
Yeah, but really, our clients are also our students. In my mind, like I'm still educating.
That's a good point. That's
like I have a first-time home buyer. We're out looking at houses. Let me teach you about owning a house. In Texas, we have to water our house we water our foundation. It's weird. I know. Let me explain why. So we're still teaching, or a seller, we still are teaching. So that aspect of me is always on. And like you said earlier, it is for me second nature because I came from a classroom of 30 plus students, 30 plus different personalities, different 30 ways people hear information and glean it. So having to always pick up on cues and adjust to explanations or what have you.
I love that. And I know that I love your brand is about humor and lightheartedness. Did you start that from the beginning, or did you evolve into that? And give me the little evolution on that one.
So it's hard to bottle this up and put it into a wall where Sam doesn't come out. Like, man, I am what I am. And I'm Sam I am. And I hated Sam I am being called Sam I am when I was a kid. But
did they call you that?
Yeah, and I'd be like, But when I started in real estate, I asked my stepdad, I said, I need a catchy name. I need a brand of some sort, right? And so he poured himself a glass of whiskey. I poured myself a glass of wine. We went into separate rooms. We sat there for about, I don't know, maybe like an hour, came out, and he was like, I have one thing written down. And I said, I have one thing written down too. And we both turned it over, and they both were Sam I Am. Just one was Sam I Am Houses and one was Sam I Am Homes. And I was like, fuck, that's it.
That's it.
Sam I Am Houses, it is. But I did, when I left education and came full time into real estate as a director of training, I had this vision of what this VP director kind of person looked like. And so I was in a blazer and I had the under pretty shirt and I had like my hair like literally Dallas. If you can think of like the TV show Dallas, that was my hair.
It was huge.
It's this hard bubble of a hair. And I look nothing like Sam. And I did that. I feel like I was wearing someone else's clothes and it just wasn't fitting. And Kim was like, what are you doing?
Being a professional.
I'm being a professional. And you just got to be you, man. You just be you, because you attract people who are like you. And people want to work with you, the real you, not who you think that you need to be. And I started thinking about when I was doing catering or doing the event planning business. So there was two sides in that business. It was the picnics, which I was planning corporate picnics, fun shit. And then the other side was more of the fancy 7-course dinners and stuff. And they were trying, because I started in 2010 during the kind of end of the recession, and they were trying to move me over to the fancier side because companies were no longer having the fun picnics, but they were keeping still the fancy Christmas dinners and that events. And so they're trying to move me over. And I was like, actually, that's when I started looking at a different job.
Oh, okay.
Because, man, no, I'm a hot dogs, hamburger, keg beer type of girl. I'm not this champagne, caviar, fancy meal. Like that's just not me. And you just really understanding who you are, and that helps guide your lane, and just be true to yourself. And that was true
Right.
back then, and it's still true now, and it's what I work on my mentees with.
Yeah.
Be
Because there's always enough to go around. And I
Oh
think
yeah.
that's the industry has shifted from when I first got into it. It was very competitive and everybody had their little secrets of how they do their listings and how they do. And as if it'd be like you and me competing against each other on listing presentations. They're going to pick you for different reasons and they're going to pick me. And I always analogize it to dating. It's like,
Yeah.
it's a chemistry thing. And
Hmm.
if someone wants to pick me, they're not going to pick that person over there just
Right.
because. And it's no, it doesn't mean I'm better or they're worse or vice versa. It's again, it's like going to a bar when you're single and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at that cute boy over there. My friends, ew, gross. It is what it is.
That is so true. It is. It really
And
is.
and it's like going back to college where it's like some girls seemed like they needed to compete over the guys. I'm like, no, there's a whole bar filled with them. There's enough to go around. And it's the same thing in real estate. It's like there's so many people that need help
Yeah.
and truly so much money to be had. So just be you and you're going to find your people.
1,000%. 1,000%.
Have you found that by being you that you've wound up finding a niche that you seem to consistently find, or have you been all over the board?
I'd say I have been all over the board, but I stay pretty central. Like, I know my lane. That's the best way to say it is I know my lane. Have I sold $1 million home? Yes, it's great. But that's luxury is not, it's not
Not
mine.
your lane.
Not
Okay.
me. But the people who bought that home were my type of people. So we gelled that way, and they put their clothes on one leg at a time, their pants on one leg at a
Yep.
time, just like I do. And so again, it's a relationship business. And a house is a house, but there are differences in that level of house. So is that my lane? Nah, not really. But can I do it? Absolutely, I can do it. I can sell land. I can sell farm and ranch, but that's not my lane. I'm really more comfortable in, oh, there go my lights. We're motion censored over here. There we go. So my lane is more like if it's 5 acres in a house, I'm good. But there's just a lot of different intricacies in all of the different types of real estate business there is. And so
Right,
you
right.
really need to be focused on what are you competent in, like really competent in it. Like backwards and forwards. I think it's
Now,
something.
I know that. So is Kim like the CEO and you're like the everything else, or do you guys have other roles outside of like assistants that production agents are in within your group?
So we call ourselves a team.
Right.
And just like every realtor, you are your own CEO of your business. You choose how you want to run your business, what you do. So I am in my calls with my mentees, it is, I highly suggest that you do this, or here's some options for you. But it's up to them as to what direction they want to do. If they want to pick
Right.
up what I'm putting down or not, which is different than being in the classroom. Because in the classroom, I'm like, here's the trough of water to please drink from. Please drink from it. Let me help you push your head into this water to drink the water. Let me tickle you so you inhale the water so you can drink the water because you have to drink this water because that's the system, but that's another topic. Anyhow,
Right.
now with adults, I'm teaching them here's some options for you. It's your choice on what you want to do and how you want to do it. But here's my advice, here's my opinions, here's some different options for you. You decide what you want to do. So for us, we are a team. And we have a lot of different avenues that agents can plug into. We've got different trainings. We have them on Zoom. We have them in person. We have different events, networking events that agents can plug into, come to bring other agents, network
Right.
together, because this real estate's a really lonely business. And so having a community around you, even if they're not in the same brokerage as you, is still great because at one time or another, we're going to be across the table from each other. And so building relationships with other agents is also very important because then you're like, if like we're in a multiple offer situation, I'll be like, I know that agent. She's a badass. She's on top of her communication. She's on top of her shit. We are going to gel on this transaction and get it to the finish line like smooth.
Right.
And so that's what we do a lot of.
Yeah. And so Kim was actually my very first guest when I first launched this podcast.
Yes.
And her kind of special sauce is events. And it was so fun to hear the behind the scenes. And while I yearn to have that kind of skill set, I don't.
Right.
But she really simplified on how someone like me could still even be part of that. And I'm
Yeah.
sure your background in event planning, you love it as well. Do you
I do.
guys plan a year in advance how things are going? Or like you just did a pretty big event recently called the Closers Cruise. And
Right.
I'd love to hear what is it, the wizard behind the curtain on that one. How did, like,
Okay.
I know it wasn't just you either. I know you
Oh,
collaborated with some other agents on.
yeah. Kim, her love language is events.
I
It took me probably 6, 7 years before I had my first quote unquote event. And but what I've realized in looking back at it, I have been doing events as a realtor for a long time, but they were smaller, more intimate type of events, like I would host a New Year's Day party. That's an event. These are my people coming, building and forming those relationships, deepening the bonds, so I was really always having events, but not in my head like big scale events. And events is such a great thing to do because you're going to get a lot of touch points, with your clients in your sphere. You're going to be getting 2 or 3 different invitation times of checking in, hey, or reminding them about the event, then at the event, then after the event, right? And so events is really a great way to do marketing and staying in touch with your people. So Kim is, again, she's a master event planner and she loves it. And the way Kim and I work is very unique. We are literally yin and yang. Like we're that symmetry. And she's got these big grandiose ideas and then she throws it at me and I'm like, poke a hole, poke a hole. Or like, okay, reality here. If we do this, then we're going to need to do this and this and make sure you have this, so it's like, I'm kind of like the back brainstorming kind of, and then she gets all that together, like massages it and out comes this amazing event. So she's really the brains behind it all. I'm the reality like checker on things. When we do the same with our agents, our newer licensed agents. So they go and have a goal setting meeting with Kim. She gives them these big things to do, these great ideas, and they come back and they're like, she said I have to call 500 people a week.
A day.
How am I gonna? And I'm like, oh, I got this. Here we go. We're going to do messaging. We're going to do some social media intentful time where we're interacting with your sphere. You're going to be commenting. You're going to do some DMs. We're going to do some text messages. So like I take those big ideas and I break them down into bite-sized pieces. So that's like how it works in like the mentee part of it. But for the events, they're so much fun. She has a annual, I think we're on year 4, 5 of it, business planning event and a CAMID. It's a retreat where we get away from society and all the distractions and we work on our business, and we have some training sessions there. Our people that come get CE credits, and we walk away with a business plan, or at least ideas that are going to be into a business plan. The one that we just had was awesome. It's the Closers Cruise, and this was the brainchild of Karin Pancook over in Minnesota. Her and her team, the Property Geeks, Sarah Ruland, Hannah Smith. So those 3 did it first in 24.
Okay.
And Kim and I attended that. Loved it. Loved it. It's unlike any other conference that you go to. Conferences, you go, you see your people, you meet other people, you hear your speakers, and then you disperse. This is a cruise ship. You're with these people for what, 4 to 7
Okay.
days. Like you're seeing them in the morning at breakfast, you're seeing them at the pool, sipping on some pina coladas, you see them on the beach, you're seeing them at the comedy show or on the dance floor. So you're really having extra time to interact, build relationships, brainstorm with other people. How's it going in your market? What are you doing? What's working for you? That's a cool idea. Let me see how I can spin it over here for Texas. So it's
I
really
love that.
cool. So Karin and Hannah and Sarah asked Kim and I if we wanted to join on and plan this year's Closers Cruise. So last year they asked us and we were like, Heck yeah, we're on. So now we are the Closers Cruise, and we just finished the last one, 2026. It was awesome. It was 7 days. I think we had,
Wow, 7 days.
yeah, it was the cruise. And the days that we were at sea is when we were actually conferencing.
Okay.
So we had 6, 12, 18. I think we had 18 speakers.
Oh,
So
wow.
really
That's a lot
great
to plan.
sessions. Yeah, we had social media, we had going old school sessions, we had AI, we had a lot of variety in there. And then we also wanted to make sure that we were taking care of the agents themselves. So we also had Ryan Gillian for mindset and finding this balance, and but really working on you as the person. We had Sherry Halpin with the Enneagrams.
Oh, right. Sure.
And learning your traits, but also how that can help you in business, working with other people. So it was a true kind of like full training of not just your business, but you yourself. It was really great. Yeah. And we're working on 2028. So hit me up.
Oh, so you'll do it every other year.
Every other
That's
year.
probably smart just
Yeah.
for doing it
And-
right cost. Yeah.
Mhm.
How many people were in attendance this year?
Oh, I think we had about 40. I think we
Okay.
had
So
a little about 40.
so that would be a great way to get to know people at a different level. That is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, really great.
love that.
We had people all over all over the country. We had Oregon, we had California, we had Florida, up north, South Carolina, we had Boston, Philly, we had some Phillies, some New Jerseys, we had Minnesota, obviously, Wisconsin, Texas, we had and Arizona. So we like the whole country comes over. So
I love that.
it was
But for agents, kind of like me, that makes me start sweating when I start thinking about something like that. But you
Right.
said you start just because not attending, but creating. If I wanted to create something, what would you tell agents that maybe want to start having a better networking, especially to your point of collaborating with agents for all different brokerages to create a bit of a community feel versus a competitive feel?
Start small. Let's go grab some coffee. Let's go grab a glass of wine. Let's go whatever. Right now, one of the brainchilds that Kim and I had on the last Closers Cruise was to have a happy hour, a once a month happy hour for agents. And so we called it the Closers Cocktail for Closers is what it is. And so once a month we just pick a happy hour spot. Our agents invite other agents that they've worked with, that they've done deals with, or that they've attended other training sessions with. It's more of just a time to, we made it through that transaction. Whew. High five, man. That was an ass whooping. Or let's brainstorm what's working for you. Again, we have vendors that are out there as well who come and join us. And so it's an opportunity for us to interact with other vendors and them to meet us. Again, it's about building the relationships. And so that sometimes is anywhere from like maybe 5 agents to like 30 agents.
Okay.
We just pick a spot, invite people, and they come.
I love that.
Field of Dreams, build it, they will come.
Yeah, I love that idea because that's not an investment, it's just time. And then it's just word of mouth, and it's versus trying to plan something where you're always going to have a speaker or something like that.
Right.
This way it's just more collaborating in the community.
And even that, you could say, hey, let me go to our board, our association, and see if they have a presenter, a speaker that might want to come and talk to us about something. And then you can have them, you can say, well, hey, we're having this happy hour. Would you like to come and share some insight about, I don't know,
Fill in the blank. Yeah.
And
Awesome.
That's an easy thing too. But I would say just start small. It doesn't have to be huge. And do something that you enjoy doing.
Right.
Yeah, this is cocktails for closers, but mocktails.
Yeah.
Like
Or coffee, whichever.
coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time today. And
welcome.
I know that we had some thoughts on what direction, but I love hearing your training and leadership because I think that's really important for agents to think about that if they're trying to build, to maybe have that component in their group, to have somebody that's good at the systems and good at that part of the leadership.
Right.
And I love it. But I do love to finish with this question.
Oh, okay.
So if you were to move to a brand new city tomorrow, no one there,
No one.
what is one thing, but you're still taking your skill set,
Yep.
But
Okay.
you're not taking any clients or any friends, and you can take your family. But what's one thing you would do to scale as quickly as possible, hitting the ground running?
Do I know the city that I'm
Nope.
moving to? I just got
Nope.
picked up and dropped off somewhere and they're like, here you go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would start living in the city, not just being in the city. So I would start to really experience the city, going to all the things and documenting it and sharing it out. I would start to be making friends and building relationships with people, talking to people. That's what I would really do. I would work on familiarizing myself with the city and all it has to offer and interacting with people and just building relationships. Because real estate is the relationship business. It's
Right.
not a quick transactional. I mean, it is a transaction, but it's about relationships. And all of my business has not come from me saying, hey, buy or sell with me. Hey, do you want to buy a house? Do you want to sell your house? That's
Right.
not where my business comes from. My business comes from, I'm a realtor, but you and I have a relationship. You trust me and I'm a realtor and you have come to me to ask to do whatever, to sell the house, to buy the house. And so really I would focus on knowing my new environment, getting out there, experiencing it all, and just start building relationships.
I love that.
Start
That's
living,
great.
man.
Great final
Again,
answer.
infuse the real estate into what you do.
That's right. That's right. Sam, thank you so much. And
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you at the next event of some sort.
Conference coming up. I'm so excited.
Thanks for listening to Rewriting Real Estate. If today's episode challenged your thinking or gave you a strategy worth trying, share it. The right move at the right time can change everything. Subscribe and listen in next week for more insight, more momentum, and more ways to grow your business your way.